Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse One here. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is well. On a very, very toasty day here in New York. Very warm today. I'm not going to complain. I'm telling you right now, I'm not complaining because winter's way too long up here. But it was definitely a warm day up here, but productive anyway. So that was a good thing. All right, so we're going to be talking about Brazil tonight a little bit, and I got a bunch of other stuff that I want to bring up. A lot of insanity, in my opinion, and we're going to go over some of these things, and we're going to talk about all of those. I just want to remind everybody, if we have any issues with the stream, if we get kicked off for any reason, that I will get right back on as soon as I possibly can. You're going to have to hold on a second because I have a cat screaming at the door. Yeah, hello, yes. He comes, if I don't go to him right away, he comes over here and tells me. Hold on one second, I'll be right back. What are you doing? You just came in. Did you get something to eat? Okay. All right, guys, I apologize. My two youngest kittens, they're both male, and neither one of them are fixed. So this time of year, they come in, they get something to eat, and they go right back out the door again. So he was ready to go catting. So anyhow, but what was I saying here? So we're gonna get into the topic here in a minute. But again, if there's any interruptions, I will get right back on as soon as possible. I want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. So please be decent in the chat. No hatred, no nastiness, anything like that. So just everybody be decent to each other, please. Okay. If you are not, those awesome people lit up in blue will boot you out of here. Okay. So anyway, so let's get into this a little bit. Let's talk about Brazil a little bit, okay? And we're gonna do like a little conspiracy theory thing with not Brazil, but everything overall in a little bit. We're gonna get into a little bit of different details of what we want to talk about, okay? But Brazil have been in shutdown since March, okay? Pretty much just like we have and stuff like that. They have the second highest number of cases of the virus behind us, which we just crossed 2 million. We're at 2,040,000 cases in the U.S. right now, so kind of scary if you want to think about that. We're going to get into that a little bit as well, so be ready for what we're going to talk about with the U.S., with the virus, and share my thoughts, and we're going to go from there, okay? But so Brazil is just now starting to reopen stuff, but their numbers are increasing. They're not going down. So, it's like, again, it's one of those situations where you close the economy as long as you can and you've basically destroyed the economy. And now what do you do? Okay. So that's what's happening down there. You're talking about an area that doesn't have the kind of healthcare that we have up here or other the main nations of the world. Not a third. Brazil's not really a third world nation, but a lot of it, they're in a lot of poverty down there. Okay, but so you're seeing the numbers are increasing down there, and so here's a couple of things that I thought was very, very interesting. So over the weekend, they decided to stop reporting the number of new deaths and cases in Brazil. They didn't want to give the numbers because the president was saying it wasn't a true definition of things. But the Supreme Court down there overruled him and said they must provide the data, okay? So he was overruled in that. All that tells me is they want to hide the numbers. They don't want the true numbers getting out there. And I'm going to tell you what, and again, I'm going to, that's a fact, okay? Now I'm going to give you an opinion, my opinion. I know a lot of people think that this whole thing is fake and whatever else that it may be, and that's fine. Everybody has the right to their opinion. But when you look at everything that's gone on, everything that has happened around the world, not even just here in the United States, but around the world, I think the numbers are greatly underreported. I think the true death rate has been greatly underreported. None of it is making any sense, okay? So it's just, and I keep hearing these things, well, the hospitals get so much of money for every case of COVID that, and whatever the case may be. But I think there's a lot of people dying that it's being underreported at. And I already talked about it being underreported in nursing homes and why it was underreported in nursing homes. Okay. So, I'll go over that briefly again in case you missed that. I'm going to give a great example. One of the nursing homes that I used to work at, probably about 5 years ago, I worked there. And small nursing home, a 90-bed unit. Okay. And they had the virus come into the nursing home. The last that I knew, and I haven't talked to my friend in a while, so I'm sure the number is higher now, but the last that I heard, they had 18 deaths. They had 36 patients infected with the virus. 20 staff members had been infected with the virus. And so when you think 20 staff members for that small of a unit, it's maintenance. You're talking secretarial staff. You're talking, the cooking section. The cleaning ladies. All those. And then your CNAs and your nurses. So it's easily could be a lot more. But they had at least 20 people, staff members, infected also. Okay. They shipped out everybody else that wasn't positive out of the county. 3 people that they ended up shipping out ended up testing positive. They sent them back. Now, with that, the stigma from that they're going to get from that nursing home, nobody's going to want to put their loved one in that nursing home because now it has this reputation of, oh my God, this happened here at this nursing home and it was terrible and all these people and this. So that's why these nursing homes are going to underreport the number of deaths from the virus because they don't want people to know. You don't want that bad publicity out there in the public, okay? So that's just one example of underreporting, just one example, okay? So, and think about all the nursing homes that are out there that are going to continue to do that same thing, all right? A lot of issues with that, And so, hold on, I forgot to kill the volume on my phone. But with that, so anyway, so I had to talk about this. What do we got here? Law and Order Prepper. Be ready for the second wave when the virus mutates from Brazil, considering their huge bat population could spread here. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I think we're going to be in for a huge second wave here. And I've talked about that this fall. I think we're going to see a spike in the numbers. Now, Vice President Pence said today, there has not been a spike in the numbers with all the protests. Well, I believe that's way too early to dictate what's going to happen as far as that part of it goes. I think you're going to see a huge spike in the numbers because of the protest. When you have that many people, hey, Mountain Girl, hope your birthday was amazing. Great channel. Prepare and stay safe. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that donation, too. I do appreciate that. Thank you. So before I get into talking more about that real quick, I got to do a couple of things I got to tell people real quick. All right. I have been very, very, very lax in my emails. I have been very, very busy. I've been doing a lot of outside stuff. And a lot of times at night, I'm like, I don't even want to deal with emails. So I am very, very behind. Okay. I promise I will get caught up. Within the next couple of days, I will be responding to anybody that's emailed me. I know there's people that are, have questions and stuff. And I apologize. I'm really, really bad when I'm busy with that aspect of it because that gets kind of pushed to the back burner. So I do apologize. Okay. Anybody that has sent an email and I have not responded recently, like within the last week to 10 days, I really, I did have a nice day. I caught up on everything and got everything caught up and then immediately got behind again. So again, I apologize. If you sent me an email in the last week to 10 days, I probably have not responded to you. And again, I do apologize, but I will get caught up with my emails. I promise. Okay. So I do apologize about that. And like I said, I'm right now, realistically, I've been prioritizing and answering the emails hasn't been a high priority. It should be because it's important, especially with, the legacy food orders and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you what. So let's talk. We're going to talk about that real quick, and I want to address this because I'm always going to be upfront with you guys and forthwith, if you will. A lot of orders have still not gone out. A lot of people who ordered in February of this year still have not gotten their orders. Okay. Legacy freeze-dried foods, like every other one of the freeze-dried food companies, are way behind. All of them are way behind. I just had somebody. What do we got here? Harshman Hills. In a few late, will you be talking about the insurrection that is going on in Seattle with the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone? I did not hear about that, so I can't really give you a comment on that, but I will look into it. I promise I will look into that, and we could probably talk about that in my next stream on Friday. So thank you so much for that donation. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff that's going on in the United States here too, guys. A lot of crazy stuff going on that I want to really get into. But I just wanted to say that, you know, when people gave me, you know, their orders, I put their orders in right away. South Cowgirl 504, I assist with placing families, elderly loved ones in senior living communities. No one is using the services. My work hours cut from 40 to 10 a week. Wow. That's, yeah, I believe it. I believe it, you know, and I can understand it. I really can understand it because people are afraid, and they have a good reason to be afraid, especially for their elderly. I'm sorry that you haven't had to work like you normally would. Yep, we're going to talk about that too. James, NASCAR fan, he says, hey, let's talk about the Confederate flag. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. I do have that written down. So, but anyway, thank you so much for that donation as well. And I'm sorry to hear that, you know, and again, there's so many things, guys, being affected. It's a snowball effect with everything that's happening, okay? This thing is not going away anytime soon. You know, people say, oh, well, it's hot now. Everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be fine. No. Look at Brazil. Brazil's a hot place, and it's not fine. Cynthia Howard, how you doing, hon? Ed, we appreciate your channel so much. Thank you so much, Cynthia, and thank you very much for that donation as well. I really, truly appreciate it. Thank you. So, So because a question got brought up here real quick, I'm gonna address this real quick. So NASCAR just banned the Confederate flag being used at any of their races. Now let's think about this for a second. The ridiculousness of this. Okay, you have one black driver, Bubba Watson, I think is his name, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, please correct me. And he complained about the Confederate flag, and so, you know, we're in a society now where we cow down and we say, oh my God, oh, we just can't offend anybody. You know, my issue is, okay, if something offends you, that's your problem. Okay. I fly the Confederate flag, and I've clearly expressed my reason. Bubba Wallace. Okay. Thank you very much. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Okay. Bubba Wallace. All right. Thank you so much for the correct. I knew it was something. I knew first thing they called him Bubba, but okay. So anyway, we're in a society now that cows down and bows down. Whatever the latest offense is, and somebody's offended. I mean, did you hear this one? Okay, the cartoon. All right. He's no longer going to be carrying the shotgun in the cartoons anymore. They're going to erase that out of there, so he won't be carrying a cartoon anymore. Remember, I'm hunting wabbits? Yeah. Ridiculous. This is insanity. Guys, I'm telling you, I watch this stuff and I go, this just can't be real. People are, really? It just can't be real, but it is. It is. But, you know, the problem I see is everybody's offended about something, and they feel, okay, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of people feel if they're offended, then you need to make a change and make them feel better. Well, guess what? I have been pretty abrasive my whole life. I say it like it is. I don't sugarcoat things, and so I piss a lot of people off. Some people respect the fact that I'm outspoken. Other people hate the fact that I'm outspoken, but I am who I am, and I'm not going to change who I am. But I think it is ridiculous that we continuously give in to the mob, if you will, because they're offended about this or they're offended about that. Guys, I see we got 1,000 people in the chat. We got 270 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do that to show support for the channel. And again, it also helps with algorithms. And I like to see a lot of thumbs up as well. So it's a combination of the three, but it really does help the channel. So I would appreciate that if you would show that support. And again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do subscribe. And make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you for doing that ahead of time. But let's go back to NASCAR just for a minute here, guys. Okay, your base of NASCAR fans. I mean, I like NASCAR. I do. I used to take care of a young man that was a huge NASCAR fan. I couldn't stand it at first, and then I kind of got into it, and I did enjoy it. I watch a race occasionally if they race. I do enjoy it. I root for Ryan Newman because, and now my Dale, listen to me. Kyle Busch is my favorite driver because he reminds me of Dale Sr. That's why I like Kyle Busch. He's aggressive like him. He's brash, outspoken. He's cocky. I like that. Okay, so Kyle Busch is my favorite driver, but I always root for Ryan Newman because Ryan Newman acts so. I got to tell this story again real quick, and then we'll get back into the whole thing with the NASCAR. So Ryan Newman was coming to he was driving a Kodak car. So he was coming to Red Wing Stadium, and he was going to do a meet and greet and signing and stuff like that. So I had contacted their people, and I let him know that my son has autism and doesn't do well with crowds and because he doesn't. And so I was wondering if we could get something autographed by Ryan Newman. Well, I'm going to tell you what Ryan Newman did, and this is why this gentleman will always have my respect. And I know, guys, I realize that it's great PR and all that type of stuff, but I don't care. He went above and beyond. So we get there, and I expected that we would have to be, in line and, get up there to see him. And they took us back in the back. We didn't have to stand in line. They took us in the back, met Ryan Newman and his wife. He signed a whole bunch of things for my son, had his picture taken with my son. He signed a small Kodak helmet, which was worth like $50, and gave that to him. So he took that extra effort. And so I've always had a tremendous amount of respect for him. And so I will always root for Ryan Newman. Okay. So that's that story. But Kyle Busch is my favorite driver. But anyway, so let's get back to this a second. So your base of NASCAR fans, let's talk about the hardcore base of NASCAR fans. What are they? White rednecks. I mean, realistically, I'm not being derogatory in any way, shape, or form. Your Southern folks are your hardcore base in the South, likes to fly the Confederate flag, okay, or the battle flag of Virginia for all the ones that want to be technical with me, but people know it as the Confederate flag, so we're going to leave it at that, okay? I'm not trying to, be corrected for every other thing, but anyway, that's your base. Now you're going to piss off your base because you're cowing in and giving in to the mob mentality of, we just can't offend, because this person is offended. You know what? If Bubba Wallace is offended by the Confederate flag and doesn't like it, then he doesn't have to race in NASCAR or anybody else, or they don't have to go to the races. That's my stance on that. If that offends you, that's your problem. Realistically, I'm sorry, but it has gotten to beyond the point of ridiculous. Now we're taking down monuments because, heaven forbid, somebody is offended. We have to take down monuments. What's next? What will the next demand be? That's what I would like to know. I'm gonna bring something else up while we're on the topic really, really quickly, and then we're gonna go back to the other stuff here. A buddy of mine sent me an email, and this is off of Facebook. Okay, hold on. The Confederate War was about the states' rights. Exactly, M. Conrad. You're exactly right. It was about state rights. And the North was squeezing the South, and they'd had enough. And that's what it was about. It was not the slaves were not freed by the North until 2 years into the war, and they did it as more of a to try to get people to, they wanted the war to end, is what they did. The North was going to win the war because we had more industry up in the North, and it was a matter of grinding it out. But way too many people died. It was a very bad time in our history. But anyway, so I want to read you really quickly. I wanted to read this to you because I thought that this was very interesting. So listen to this one, okay? This person, and I'm going to even say his name. His name was Adam Butsch. If I had the power to do so, I would have a gallows built in rows at the White House in Washington, D.C., for example, as many as traffic allows. Then white people will be hanged indiscriminately and will remain hanging until they stink. They will hang there as long as the principles of hygiene permit. As soon as they have been untied, the next batch will be strung up. So down the line until the last white person in our nation's capital has been exterminated. Our cities will follow suit precisely in this fashion until all America has completely cleansed of whiteness. Now, this was somebody posted this on Facebook. Now, we all know how Facebook acts, right? So somebody reported him. This is what they got back, okay? We didn't take down Adam Butsch's comment. We received a complaint that you reported and found that it doesn't go, and we found that it doesn't go against our community standards. For this reason, we didn't take the comment down. We kept the review process as fair as possible by using the same community standards to review reports. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, so that's Facebook, all right? That's crap. Because let's just go on a limb here and say a white person did that, okay? If a white person said, I want to put gallows up in Washington, D.C. and hang every black person, and same thing, just reverse it, okay? That person, not only would the comment have been taken down, their Facebook account would have been suspended, and they probably would have been brought up on charges. So that, I wanted to just share the hypocrisy, okay? That's hypocrisy. Vanessa Doe, happy belated birthday. Thanks for your great point of view. It's refreshing. Thank you very much, Vanessa, and thank you so much for the donation as well. I really do appreciate that. It is amazing to me how our society has gone from, people joke about everything, you know what I mean? And nobody can take a joke anymore. Everybody's offended by everything. Absolutely insanity. Absolute insanity. It makes absolutely no sense. But let's see. Yeah, that's right. Carl Woods just said, no, Ed, that's racism. Exactly, that's racism. So why is there that double standard for Facebook? Because I'll tell you what, you put up, I had somebody that follows my channel that was on Facebook and put up a picture of a wolf. And I can't remember what the comment was, but it was nothing offensive at all in the comment. Like something like Soldiers of Odin or something like that, it said, okay? They took that down. But they wouldn't take that statement down that person made. It's insane. It's unbelievably insane. Now, I've been seeing some other things lately in the media. And I'm just like, what is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? It just, here's my, I'm going to give you my point of view. And this is how I absolutely 100% feel. Bruce Wells, do you have old canning videos? I do have some old canning videos, Bruce, and I'm going to be doing more canning videos this year. So just stay tuned for that. We'll definitely get there. Thank you very much for that donation too. I appreciate it. So I'm going to get back here, guys. I didn't lose track. Here's my point of view. You want an even playing field? Let's set an even playing field. And here's the standard right here, right across the line. And if you can't conform to that standard, okay, a good example. To be a police officer, you have to take a test. Civil service jobs, you have to take a test. No more extra 20 points for anything. No more extra 20 points because you're a woman. No extra 20 points because you're any race other than a white male. No more favoritism in that. Even. So the smartest people should get the job. I think that that's the way it should be. I think the smartest people should get the job. So if that meant, so let's think about this. Who are the smartest people, okay? It has been proven that the smartest people are Asian descent people of Asian descent. They're the smartest people. So if your entire police force ends up being made up of Asian people, I'm okay with that. If they're the smartest ones and the best ones for the job, okay, they should get the job. And that's how it should be. No more favoritism. You work hard. If you put in the effort, you get the job. That's how it should be. It shouldn't be, well, we really wanted to hire you, but we have to fill our quota or otherwise we'll get in trouble. Ridiculous, guys. I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of it. Hey, Donna Smith. Hey, Ed, what happens when one is offended? Does anyone's eyes pop out? Does the hair fall out? Does, hold on a second. I'll read the rest of that. Do they uncontrollably collapse? Nope, nothing. Offended one needs to check their emotions. Exactly. And thank you so much for that donation as well. I appreciate that. Hey, Renee C. I had someone get extremely angry with me because I'm pro-gun ownership. I tried to present my point of view and was respectful, but the pacifist was having nothing, not having it. And thank you so much for that donation as well. It's gotten crazy. Homestead Hopeful Tara, agreed. Fair across the board. My husband said one of our counties gives us females extra time breaks during firefighter physical agility test. Well, and there's the other thing too. Okay, yeah, and thank you very much for that donation as well. You want a fair-based thing? You want the job? If you're physically able to do it, I don't care if you're a man or a woman or whatever. That's who should get the job. I'm going to tell you what happens with the police. Okay. And I'm going to catch a lot of hate for this, but I don't care. I'm going to be honest because I'm always going to be honest. Okay. Female cops are not physically able to do the same thing male cops are. That is a fact. That's not nothing to do trying to be derogatory to women. Is a fact. If there is a situation and it's a bad situation and the female police officer gets there, let's say first, the men will go out of their way even more so to get there to back her up because they know that they need to. That puts their lives at risk. If you have somebody you're trying to apprehend and it's just you and one other officer and that happens to be a 105-pound female, that's not a whole lot of help, okay? And I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend any women or nothing like that. But in certain things, certain jobs men should do. And don't get me wrong, women can be police officers too, but a lot of times they should not be on those front lines dealing with the hardened of the hardest criminals. That's just my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion, so please don't go nuts on me. All right. But anyway, it's just, we need to stop with this nonsense. We need to stop with this political correctness where we continue to give in to everybody and not stand up for ourselves. And, how come, and this is another thing, and I'm going to get on my soapbox a little bit, guys, tonight. I'm sorry. Follower of Jay, Ed, what do you think about the fact that no Antifa people have been arrested so far? I did not know that. I don't know if that's true or not. I really don't know if that's true or not, so I really can't give you an answer for that, but I'm sure that they have been. I'm sure that they have been. If they caught them red-handed, they definitely would do that. Hey, Holly Chapman, no gun for Elmer Fudd, but let's make more war and killing video games makes no sense. Exactly. And you know what? That's Elmer Fudd. That was part of the whole thing, and it was a big spoof. It was a big spoof and cartoon, and it was fun, and it didn't hurt nobody. This country's lost its mind. I'm telling you right now, this country has lost its mind. We need to get back to fundamentals. We really, really do. We need a reset. I think it's going to happen. I really, truly do. It's like it's amazing to me what has happened in this country. It just, how come I want to say this really quickly. How come it's okay? And I'm going to bring up another point too. But how come it's okay that if you're black, you're Hispanic, you're Asian, you're American Indian, whatever you may be, you can be pro. Yay, I'm an American Indian. Yay, I'm Spanish. Yay, I'm black. Yay, whatever, you are. But the minute you say, yay, I'm white, you're a racist. Why can every other race be celebrated except for white people? That's a question I would like to know. Homestead Hopeful Tara, my husband is an EMT and females are always dumping. Oh, hold on a second. Always dumping heavy patients off on the males because they can't do the job, but they get paid the same thing. Yeah, there's another example of it right there. Yep. And here's the thing too, and I don't understand this, and I'm not trying to be an a-hole, guys. Please don't take this wrong. Ambulance folks, is there like a thing for ambulance folks that says, listen, you can't be on an ambulance crew unless you're 250 pounds plus or more? Wow. It amazes me. I've seen some very, very large individuals on ambulance crews, men and women. So I'm like, just, I don't know. So it's craziness. So Wile E. Coyote did finally catch the Roadrunner. Yeah, JJ just said that's funny. It's so sad. It's just I'm amazed, with what's going on in this country. I'm absolutely amazed. Hey, Jimmy, Who are they going to blame when white people are gone? Yeah, exactly. Well, it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. It's so messed up because the problem is we all bleed the same color. We're all human beings, and it's like I'm so sick of this division. And again, I'm going to say this again, and I've said it, and I've said it again and again and again. The media perpetuates it. The government wants us to be divided because as long as we're divided and fighting each other and doing stupid little stuff, the Mexican police officer set on fire, now in the hospital being treated for burns. That's terrible, Tony. That's terrible to hear that. Yeah, and so we're going to talk about the police again in a second as well. But it's just let's see, nose picking. I heard that Antifa took over 6 blocks, Midtown Seattle. City Police Department, police only taking 911 emergency calls. Have you heard anything? I did not hear anything about that. I would recommend, guys, if you later on, probably because I'm sure he's going to go on later, is go to Marfugel News and check him out. Okay, check him out because I'm sure he's got that information because he's in that area. So yeah, I had not heard anything, so I can't give you an answer on that because I'm not going to talk about something I have no idea of. Our government has pushed the race thing, beginning with affirmative action and equal employment opportunity. You have to provide your race on a job application, census, home loan paperwork. We're all human. You're right, exactly, Donna, and it's wrong, and it's absolutely wrong, and it needs to stop. Okay, it absolutely needs to stop. I'm gonna give you another great example. In 1 second here. Let's see. Don't Panic said, I was always told that the Looney Tune cartoons were considered slapstick because nobody died in it. Exactly. And that's exactly what they were. And now they want to take away the gun from Elmer Fudd because, well, heaven forbid that we offend somebody. Ridiculous. So, all right, I want to give you another quick example. Way back, before I ever became a nurse, I worked for Monroe County, working with mentally retarded people, okay? And you had to take a civil service examination to get that, to take that job, to get that job, okay? So we get into our first day of orientation, right? And it's a eclectic mix of people, about half white, half black. Aaron Sanka, they're wanting to get rid of the police altogether. Has anybody thought about the fact that maybe, hold on a second. Maybe they're trying to get UN peacekeepers over here to replace them. I don't know, just a thought. Yeah, we're gonna jump into that whole thing with the police in a second as well. I'll get back to that. But thank you very much for the donation as well. As soon as I talk about this, we're going to talk about the police real quick, okay? So we have our first day, and everybody's talking. Well, what'd you get on the test? What score did you get on the test? Now I scored a 99. Okay, I'm not stupid. I'm a pretty smart guy. I scored 99. Everybody that was in there that was white, their scores were 95 or higher, okay? Everybody that was in there that was of a different color or race, or race, whatever they were, Hispanic or black, whatever, I think the highest score of any of them was maybe 85. But they got an extra 20 points added on to their score, okay? So just because they were black or Hispanic or whatever the case may be, or a woman, okay, they were given that extra 20 points right off the top. So now their 77 that they got on the test is now a 97. So that pushes them to the top of the list, and they take the top scores is what they take on those jobs. So what ends up happening? So let's think about this. You get the cream of the crop of the white people, the smartest of the white people, and you get everybody else that's, just got the extra bonus that's not that smart maybe. And, for whatever reason, and I'm not saying it's a race thing, so please don't misinterpret what I'm saying, but that's how it went there. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. Prepper Chris 1, NASCAR. Oh, hold on a second. NASCAR done, gone. Guns bad. Bombs okay though? Question mark. Yeah, right. It's gotten nuts, Prepper Chris 1. Thank you very much for the donation as well, and thank you for the comment. Yeah, it's just, okay, so let's talk about the police. We're going to go all over, guys, tonight, just so you know. I'm going to get on my soapbox, and we're going to go on a roll here, okay? I see we're at 1.2 in the chat, guys. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would actually please ask you to do that to show support for the channel. And, again, it really does help with the algorithms. And thank you very much for doing that. And like I said, I like to see a nice number of thumbs up. So I think we had 900. We ended up with 900 in the last chat. So let's see if we can beat that 900 tonight. That would be kind of neat. I'd like to see it get to 1,000. That would be pretty cool, because we got a good crowd in here so far. So let's see how high we can push that up. Again, and if you are not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you for doing that ahead of time. All right, so let's talk about the police. I just saw a video of the head of the police union down in New York City, and it was very, very impassionate. His speech. Again, I'm going to tell you what. I'm not anti-police. I've never been anti-police. There's good police. There's bad police. Like any profession that is out there, there's good and bad in every profession. Okay, if you are a truly 100% honest cop, I'm going to give an example. Here's a good example. Serpico down in New York City. Completely honest, wouldn't take any money, any of the bribe money, the drug money, whatever it was and stuff like that. He just wanted to do his job. And what did they do? They tried to kill him. That's a fellow officer, because they couldn't trust him because he wouldn't go along, okay? When I worked for the state, if you were a narc, if you narked on people, you got fired. You lost your job. So you learned to shut up. You didn't see nothing. You didn't hear nothing. You didn't see nothing. That's reality. That's reality. So everybody who wants to vilify all the police, well, they don't tell on each other and blah, blah, blah. Of course not. They're not going to tell on each other, because as soon as you turn into a narc, you're labeled and you're gone. Okay. You can still be an honest cop and still do your job without having to, get into whatever other people are doing. But you know what? There's a lot of good cops out there, guys, and I'm really, really tired of the police being vilified. When you have a criminal scumbag, and let's be honest, anybody that would rob a pregnant woman at gunpoint and put the gun in the belly of the woman, that's a scumbag. That's your George Floyd, okay? He did 5 years in prison for that armed robbery. He was no saint. He was in and out of prison, I think at least 6 times, I believe that it was. So he was no saint, okay? And you don't think when the cops ran him that all came up? Now, that doesn't excuse what happened to him, okay? It does not excuse what happened to him. But that whole thing was not a race thing. It was not a race thing. Again, I'm going to tell you what I saw. I saw a bad cop do a bad thing to another human being. That's what I saw. And I'm going to stick with that. You know what? If you wanted to be all equal, where were you burning down cities and protesting? Where was the huge funerals for that gentleman that died in Houston, Texas, the same way, under a cop's knee, begging for his life, and he died? Oh, wait a minute. He was white, so he doesn't count. Okay? So tired of it. I'm so over it. You have no idea. And I'm going to tell you what. I'm not going to justify myself. That was another point I was going to make. How come, and this has happened to me, guys. This happened to me. I lost 400 subscribers off the channel. How come as soon as you don't go along with the narrative, as soon as you don't go along with the program, no, now you're a racist. You didn't go along with the program. You didn't go along with what we're being told, so you're a racist. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, okay? And I'm over it. I don't need to justify myself, and I'm not going to justify myself. I'm going to say it like it is again, and I always will. If you like it, great. If you don't, you know what? Go watch, a video on unicorns and rainbows, and maybe you can be in your safe, happy place. And when the world burned down around you, you'll go, "Wow, what happened?" I'm going to be very, very straightforward. I'm going to be very, very blunt. Always have been. Okay. I have friends and I have people that I associate and deal with that are all colors, all races, all religions. And guess what? I treat each one of them, and this is weird. This is weird. I know it's a very foreign concept. I treat each one of those people like I want to be treated. I know, how horrible is that? What an awful, selfish person I am to think that if I treat people decently, that I expect that back too. It's very bizarre. But, go against the narrative, you're labeled. And so somebody talked about earlier, they were having a discussion about guns with a friend, and that they were so locked in. And there's another thing there, that narrow-mindedness. As soon as, if you don't believe exactly what I believe, you're wrong, and you have to change. That's ridiculous too. Whatever happened to, we can agree to disagree. Whatever happened to that? Now I'm going to tell you what. Are there racists out there? Yep. And guess what? Those racists out there are all colors. They're all colors. So the whole BS, and I just saw, we have a systematic racism in this country. Ridiculous. Perpetuated by the media and the government. Yeah, sure. Yes. But I'm going to tell you what. I've dealt with so many people in my life. I've been all over. And like I said, I always try to treat people decently. I treat people decently until they prove to me they don't deserve to be treated decently. And then realistically, I want nothing to do with them. That's how I roll. That's how I've always rolled. Kenyon Bassett said, Ed, voice your opinions on the Confederate flag to black friends. I have. And you know what? Again, we have agreed to disagree. And I have friends that are super, super duper religious. Anybody that watches my channel knows that I am not. Okay? I do not like organized religion. I think it's the biggest control mechanism in this planet. Okay? But you know what? I have my own beliefs that I follow. And, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with who I am. I'm okay with my beliefs. And guess what? Here's another, again, weird concept. I respect your right to believe whatever you want to believe. If you want to worship the telephone, if that's your God and you want to worship the telephone, fantastic, have at it. Enjoy yourself. But guess what? Don't tell me that I have to worship the telephone as well, or I'm going to burn in hell forever. I'm not buying it. Sorry. I'm not playing that game. So, it's too hot for a lot of eggs. 6, I say. All right. Well, we'll do that right now. We'll get that out of the way really quickly. Egg count for today. Let's do the egg count. I know. I'm sorry. I've been on a soapbox a little bit today. I just kind of tired of the nonsense and tired of what's being put out there. And I wanted to have an honest discussion. And I hope that you can understand that. I hope you can understand that. I really do, because it's gotten to the point of ridiculousness, truly ridiculousness. They've glorified a person who was a degenerate scumbag. And I'm being honest, because guess what? If he had been white and had that same exact arrest record, I would still be calling him a degenerate scumbag. They weren't dealing with a choir boy. What they did was wrong. I'll be 100% honest. Absolutely 100% wrong. Okay. If you said the same number as Happy Elf, then you were correct. And Happy Elf said 11. We ended up with 11 eggs today. Very, very surprised it was that many, especially with it being as hot as it was today. But I will tell you this, Thick Neck did not lay an egg today. We had 11 brown eggs and no green eggs today. So I always know, it's like I said, it's always easy to tell when she doesn't lay, because she's the only one that lays the green eggs. So anyway, oh my goodness. All right, so I want to bring up another thing here. So let's talk about the World Health Organization for a second. Awesome topic, right? So now they're saying that asymptomatic people are not spreading the virus. There's a lot less chance that they're actually spreading the virus. Now, in my opinion, the World Health Organization has absolutely lost all credibility. With what they've done, with the games that they've played, they have no credibility anymore, in my opinion. It's been a big fiasco, and they're a joke, and whoever's pulling their strings, telling people what to say and how to do it, it's a very, very bad thing. So, but yeah, that was something that I thought was really, really interesting when they came out with that. But yeah, they're an absolute joke. So the United States is now top 2 million cases of the virus in the U.S. All right. We have 114,452 deaths. Now, with everything that has been going on, there's been a surge in other new cases. And there, of course, Pence is saying that it's not from the protest. But you give it a couple weeks, and I bet there'll be surges in those areas where there was large protests. Almost guarantee it, okay? Because you can't put that many people together and not have this thing going off, all right? we are not getting away from this thing anytime soon. I understand why they got to reopen the economy. They got to get it going again. People are losing their minds. You've had a lot of people have mental breaks because of what is happening, and it's sad. It's sad. Guys in Chile are. Hold on a second. Hold on. I want to read that. Guys in Chile, they are experiencing the second wave, but MSN are not reporting this to the U.S. The second wave is going to be deadlier. Please prepare in Jesus Saves. That's Invader Zim just said that. Now, would that be Zim from Starship Troopers? Remember Sergeant Zim? Any movie buffs will know what I'm talking about. Sergeant Zim, who captured the brain bug. Anyway, I'm sorry. But so I believe things are going to get much, much worse. I absolutely do. Hey, Brandywine, if it's true, hold on a second. If it's true they want to eliminate the police, expect AI robots to be the replacement. Brandywine just said that. Okay, well, thank you for that comment, and thank you very much for the donation as well. And I do appreciate that. But yeah, why is nobody talking about 42 million unemployed anymore? Exactly. Good question, follower Jay. So, is there a reason for the green egg? It's just she's an Americana, and it's the breed that they have that they lay. They lay a greenish blue egg, and that's what they lay. And it's just the breed. And I have one Americana, so so if she don't lay, I know she didn't lay that day. And all the other girls are all brown eggs. My new girls that I just got, my Barred Rocks, they are all going to lay brown eggs as well. So, yeah. So, but Puerto Rico has increased virus cases. There's increased cases going on all over. There's been new cases, going on in different parts of the U.S. I mean, New York is still getting cases. We got like 24,000 deaths in New York alone. Okay. And again, I do not believe it has been overreported. I believe 100% that is underreported. Again, that is my opinion. And I'm going to go based on different things that I have said to you guys. Now, I was talking to Asif earlier today. We were texting back and forth. And I don't know if he's in here or not, but he had a friend of his that he had known for a long time that was also a doctor that just died from the COVID virus. Okay. So, a lot of medical people are dying. A lot of medical people are dying from this. And a lot of these things they're not talking about it. They're keeping it, underreporting stuff and they're picking and choosing. So while they're keeping us all distracted with the George Floyd situation, right? Keeping us all distracted with that, the numbers are starting to go back up again. And it's scary, guys. I'm going to tell you what. People ask me, what's the urgency? Why are you going like you've been going? I am getting ready as much as I possibly can. I've encouraged you. See, the thing is, when I say something to you guys, it is something that I'm going to follow and do myself. Okay? I'm not just going to tell you, put in bigger gardens, can like you've never canned before, and do all these things and do nothing myself. I'm doing the same exact things. Hey, Asif, my medical school classmate died from COVID-19. That's what he just said. Yep, and that's what I was just talking about. It's a classmate that he went to medical school with. It was a friend of his. So he had heard from his son. His son told him. So very, very sad. And such a waste. You got to realize, how long does it take these folks to go through medical school? It's ridiculously long. And we're losing them. They're dying. It's not good. It's not good at all. But, oh my God, what was? Now I lost my other thought that I had. I'm sorry. But again, the cases are increasing. Okay. They're going higher and higher all over the place. New spikes in numbers. Now, New York's numbers are a lot lower because we had more than anywhere else in the United States. Okay. I mean, we had the largest numbers. We've had more deaths in New York State than a lot of countries. So what does that tell you? Here's another thing I want you to think about. You look at the numbers coming out of Iran, the numbers coming out of Russia, large number of cases, but small number of deaths. Think that's true? Think they're hiding something? You think they're lying? I think so. Okay. All over, I think things are being underreported. I think we got 7 million cases worldwide. Now, again, I'm waiting for the people that said More people die every year of the flu. This is just the same as the flu. It's not just the same as the flu. You're never going to convince me of that. I think it's much more deadly. I think when round 2 hits, we're in big trouble. Big trouble. Hey, Gigi. 1/3 of the people at Walmart this evening did not have a mask on. Manager said, go tell them to put on a mask. Wow. Yeah, well, and again, I think it depends on where you are. The county that I live in, I think we have 114 cases total, and more than half of them have recovered, and we've had 4 deaths up here. I'm out in the middle of nowhere, okay? I'm in the country. You're not having the interaction like you would have in a bigger city. So let's talk about that for a second too, okay? Let's talk about the bigger cities, the congestion of people, all kinds of people on top of each other. Your death rates are going to be much higher. Places, Chicago, New York City, Los Angeles, those type of places. It's going to be a lot higher in those places. I wanted to bring up something else that there was a study done, and I wanted to bring this up real quick. But before I do, I see we're at 1.2 in the chat, guys. We're at 723 on the thumbs up. Again, I'm going to push. I want to get us over 1,000. If we get over 1,000, we had 900 in the last chat. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please shoot a thumbs up for us to show support for the channel. Again, it helps with the algorithms. And it's, to show support for the channel, and I appreciate it. And I like to see the bigger number anyway. But I'd like to see us get over 1,000 before the chat's over tonight. And I think we could easily do it tonight, okay? So, and again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you hit the bell notification for all notifications as well. All right, so I want to read this to you real quick. The Queen Mary, what was it? I can't even read my own. I can't even read the last word. I can't even read my own writing. How sad is that? But they're an organization that was doing a study, and they said a direct correlation with coronavirus and obesity, which makes a lot of sense, right? So they're saying that they're equally responsible for the food industry is almost as responsible as the coronavirus for the number of deaths, because it says that there's a 44% better chance that you're going to get the virus if you're overweight, okay, or if you're obese. Not overweight, but obese. If you're obese, which I think the definition of obese is 50 pounds overweight. So if you are at least 50 pounds overweight, you're considered obese, and you have a 44% greater chance of getting the virus. Ed, cop union is right to be angry that the media is treating cops like thugs. And I agree with you, John. I absolutely agree with you. One of the things that he said. Now I'm gonna hurt some feelings. So there's the warning. If you don't want to hear this next part, you better just kind of tune out for a second. So he said that union representative for the police, that they were hearing that in the black communities that mothers were saying that they were afraid, their children walking home being killed by a police officer. Are you serious? I think, and this is my opinion, when you look at places like Chicago, majority black people in those certain neighborhoods and Hispanic people, all right, killing each other like crazy, I think you got to worry about your own people in those neighborhoods killing each other, not the cops. That's what if I was a parent, that's what I would be. I wouldn't let my kid walk home if I was a parent. If I lived in the inner city, I would never let my kid walk home. There was somehow, some way, I would pick that child up and take him to school and bring him home from school. So again, it's gotten to a point of ridiculousness with this hatred towards the police. And look at how many police officers have been killed. Look how many police officers are ambushed on a regular basis by lunatics. And it's all that. You look at all the black police officers that have been killed. Did their lives not matter? Were their lives not more important than anybody else's lives? It's insane, guys. And again, the media is selective of what they're going to report. And anything that is realistically anything anti-white is going to get front page news, fan those flames, get people stirred up, get people all upset, keep them fighting with each other, and they're winning. They're winning because of that. We need to stop that, okay? I'm telling you right now, things are going to get worse in my opinion, and I think they're going to get a lot worse. So I was talking about gardening and stuff earlier here. Hey, nose picking. George Floyd's autopsy showed fentanyl in his blood. This causes breathing difficult. Opinion, yes. Absolutely, fentanyl will cause breathing issues as well, but he was also high on meth as well, they said. But yes, fentanyl will definitely slow down your breathing. But, obviously having a knee in the back of your neck doesn't help either. So, yeah, but anyway, so let's go back to what I was talking about with gardens. And I was talking about putting in the biggest gardens of your life this year. Canning like you've never canned before this year. Very, very important. Hey, Tony, or Troy, I'm sorry, Troy, Obrien. I don't want to say it wrong, so I'm just going to spell it. Thank you very much for that donation. I appreciate that. Thank you. You have an opportunity now to not be a victim. I don't want you guys to be victims. I want you to be as independent as you possibly can be. Put in those gardens, the biggest gardens of your lives. Can everything that you can. Prep. Get as much as you can. Canned goods, long-term food storage, your spices, your sugars, your flours, whatever you think you need, whatever you use on a regular basis. Like tonight, Heather and I had rice tonight. I love rice. I could eat rice all the time. Absolutely love it. And so she was making, which we still have to make a video on, fried rice. She made fried rice. I had white rice. I love white rice. I just, I could just eat that. Butter, little salt and pepper, awesome. So, but anyway, the reason that I say that, and I don't just lip service and just tell you what to do and not do it myself, that's why those raised bed gardens were going in this year, okay? That's why I'm putting in more than I've ever done before this year. I'm going to have other things going. The greenhouse, once I really get going in there, you're going to see a lot more stuff growing in the greenhouse as well. I plan on having a lot of production. I plan on canning a ton of stuff this year, and I want to be as ready as I possibly can be. I think that we're in for some very, very hard times coming up. That is my opinion, okay? If you take care of yourself and not make yourself a victim, it puts you in a better situation, and I think that's really important. And I think we all need to be doing that. I really, truly do. And so I'm going to encourage you guys, prep. Don't let all these distractions, all this nonsense that's going on, don't let it get you off focus of what's really, truly important. Your families are the most important thing first. The people in your group, which could be family, you could be considered family as well, they're right there as well, okay? And then if you want to be able to help people, put yourself in a position to be able to do that. Knowledge is power. And I've said that a whole lot, guys. I've said it a whole lot. Learn as much as you possibly can. Hey, nose picking. Adderall can cause false positive for meth. Ah, okay. I did not know that. So thank you for that information. So maybe he was on, I don't know if he was on Adderall or not. I have no idea. Oh, Glenn WRE goes, Brazil, question mark. We talked about Brazil, Glenn. We did. We were talking about Brazil earlier. You got to be here in the beginning. When we get in the beginning, we'll talk about the topic a little bit. And then it very quickly goes off the rails. It always does, because we're talking about a lot of different things. Okay, you know what? I'm going to read a statement here, and I think this is really important. JJ just said this. Bottom line, had George Floyd not committed any crime, none of this would have happened. Bingo. Wow, imagine that. You don't want to have interactions with the police? Don't commit crimes.